Hey guys, in today's video we want to talk about Beastmaster and Lycan as an offlaner. Both heroes are really similar to each other. They are both summon based heroes with like an aura kind of spell that either gives attack speed or damage to all of your units. Both of those heroes are really strong in solo queue. They have a lot of pushing potential, they have a lot of split pushing. They are really good at farming, and both of them have a really good laning stage in most games. They actually buy really similar items and they play really similar to each other. Let's first talk about Beastmaster. Beastmaster's first spell is called Wild Axes. This lets you throw 2 axes, and the axes will deal damage every time they hit an enemy. The axes also apply a damage amp per stack, so basically you and all your units will deal 12% more damage at max. Your second spell is Call of the Wild Boar and Call of the Wild Hawk. The boar allows you to spawn a boar that you can control that actually does a lot of damage and that applies a poison to enemies that slows them. The other part is like the hawk. You can select an area where the hawk should fly to, and the hawk will automatically fly to this area and then just gives a lot of vision there. Beastmaster's third skill is called Inner Beast. This is an attack speed aura that applies in a radius of 1200 units to all allied units and heroes. Your ultimate is called Primal Roar. This is a target stun ability that allows you to stun someone even through BKB for up to 4 seconds. This is basically the spell that allows you to kill people. When you use your summons and you raw summon, they're stunned for 4 seconds and you can basically just run them and get a kill nearly all the time. Now let's talk about Lycan. Lycan's first spell allows you to summon 2 wolves. Once you have 3 points in this spell, the wolves will become invisible. And once you skilled the 4th point, the wolves actually become a passive that will slow enemies when the wolves attack them and deal 8 damage per second. The attack speed slow is actually really good when trading with enemies, especially early on in the lane. Your second spell is called Hole. If you use this spell, all enemies within a 2000 radius will lose 40% attack damage, and their armor will get reduced by 8. As you can see here. Damage reduced by 40%, armor reduced by 8. This is actually a really strong teamfight ability. Your third spell is called Feral Impulse. This is an aura that is basically like the Beastmaster aura, but instead of giving attack speed, this will give you and all your units damage. But keep in mind, unlike the Beastmaster aura, this is only for you and your own units, not for your teammates. Your fourth spell is called Shapeshift. Shapeshift will allow you to transform into a wolf, giving you and all your units critical strike and max movement speed. As you can see here, all the units are at max movement speed, and all the units can crit. Let's talk about Beastmaster's skill build. With Beastmaster, you want to max out your summons first. This means at level 1, 3, 5 and 7, you skill Call of the Wild. At level 2, 4, 8 and 9, you will get your attack speed aura. And this will basically allow you to just get good trades with enemies and allow you to clear neutral camps and lane really fast. You want to get your ultimate every time you can at level 6, 12 and 18. You want to take your talents every time you're allowed to at level 10, 15, 20 and 25. In most games you want to take movement speed, armor, war damage and attack speed, but feel free to take the other talents if needed. The last spell you want to max out are the Wild Axes. You basically take them at level 11, 13, 14 and 16. Lycan skill build is really similar to Beastmaster. You want to max out your wolves as soon as possible, followed up by your Feral Impulse. The Feral Impulse will give you a lot of HP regen in the lane, and the Wolves will allow you to trade with enemies, especially once they hit level 5 and 7 with the invisibility and the cripple. You want to get a point in your ultimate each time you're allowed to, and you want to max out Hole as your third spell. On Lycan, you want to skip your talents until you have maxed out all other spells. This means the first talent you will take at level 15 and the second talent you will take at level 16. For the starting items, there are two builds that you can go for. The first one is the one I would recommend most games, and this is just you starting off with a Quelling Blade and Belt of Giant Strength. And then you immediately buy a Tango with the first courier usage after the runes. And this belt has less regen than the other one, but this will allow you to get your Necronomicon way faster than the second build. With the second build, you just start double Tango, 1 healing salve, Quelling Blade, 2 branches for some stats, and the Fairy Fire. You should go for this build if you're playing against harder lanes that have a lot of harassing potential and maybe even kill potential early on. The first major item we want to buy on Beastmaster is the Necronomicon level 1. Since we already have the Belt of Giant Strange from the normal build, we just need to buy 2 Sage's Masks, and then we can instantly buy the Necronomicon one. After the Necronomicon 1, you can go for the boots, and then you can go for the Necronomicon 3. Feel free to swap around your boots timing to either before the Necro 1 if you're playing against really aggressive heroes that you can only survive against with boots, or if you think you don't need boots at all, to just buy the boots after you have completed your Necronomicon level 3. After the Necronomicon, you want to buy Blink Dagger most of the time just to be able to catch enemies off guard with your ultimate. After you bought the dagger, you want to build a Solar Crest and an Assault Cuirass for armor reduction. Armor reduction is really good on Beastmaster because you have so many summons. Both items can be used on your allies to give them even more attack speed combined with your aura. This will make your carry really strong if you buff him up with the Solar Crest. Usually the last item you want to buy is a Hex. With Hex you have so much control in teamfights. You can raw someone for 4 seconds and then hex them for 3.5 seconds. For the situational items, there are some aura items like Drums, Pipe and Vlads that are pretty good. The Lotus Orb's a pretty good pickup if you can reflect a lot of spells. In some games you need a BKB if you can't get off your ultimate. And in your last spot you can buy an Arcane Blink just to get off faster cast time. I just realized I forgot to put in an Aghanim Scepter, because in some games, if you're playing against PL for example, or other heroes with summons like Nature's Prophet, then an Aghanim Scepter can be pretty helpful to clear out enemy summons as well. For Lycan, the starting items are exactly the same. You can either go with the Quelling Blade and Belt of Giant Strange build for the faster Necro, or for the other alternative build in harder lanes. We do the same as on Beastmaster, we just buy the 2 Sage's Masks first, and then we rush Necro 3. On Lycan, you can always skip the boots to after the Necronomicon, or if you want to, you don't even need to buy boots at all on Lycan, because usually you only fight when you have your ultimate up, and you don't really need boots for this. For the core items, the first one you want to buy at minute 20 is the Aghanim's Shard. The shard will actually allow you to put on huge pressure onto the enemies, because there will one wolf spawn randomly in one wave, like every 30 seconds. And this will just keep pushing the lanes, so this is actually really strong. The first major item you want to go for after the Necro is AC in most games, just to buff up all your summons. On Lycan, you want to build BKB nearly every game, because you're just in the middle of the fight all the time. Aghanim Scepter is pretty good on Lycan as an offlaner because you have 2 other cores that you can give your Wolf's Bite and just give them basically free crit and max movement speed. Abyssal is a pretty good pickup as well, just to lock down enemies that are slippery, and so your summons can kill them. For situational items, it's Jumps, Solar Quest, Satanic, Heart and Nullifier. There we go with part 1 of this video. In part 2 we will just check out some real good players playing Lycan and Beastmaster on the offlane and just check out how they approach teamfights, what they do in the early game to just get an advantage, how they use the Necronomicons to farm, just which farming roads are they taking, which objectives do they prefer to take, and basically just give you a general guide on how to play those heroes in a real game. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to join me on Twitch, the link is down below. And if you have any suggestions, just feel free to write a comment, write me a message. Just feel free to tell me, please. Have a nice day, guys. See you later.